The truth about dog love. Every morning at exactly 8 o'clock, something strange happened on one quiet little street. It wasn't rush hour, it wasn't school drop-off time. It was the moment every single bachelor dog in the neighborhood started getting ready. One practiced his voice, one showed off his muscles, one fixed every strand of fur, one grabbed his best toy. From a distance, it looked exactly like a group of boys waiting outside a school gate, just to see the girl they liked walk by. And then, at exactly 8 o'clock, a young woman appeared at the end of the street, holding a leash, and beside her was Luna, a tiny cocker spaniel, soft ears, innocent eyes, and absolutely no idea that she had just made the entire street lose its mind. Rocky immediately started howling. Bruno puffed out his chest. Charlie began showing off with his ball. Oliver fixed his perfect fur. The whole street suddenly became a talent show. Only Max, the calm, handsome German shepherd, stayed quietly behind his gate, but none of them knew. Luna wasn't watching this competition the way they thought she was. Why male dogs react so strongly? The first thing you need to understand is this. Male dogs don't suddenly act strange for no reason. Luna doesn't have to bark. She doesn't have to do anything dramatic. She simply walks by. And somehow, the whole neighborhood knows. Why? Because dogs don't live in a world built mainly on pictures. They live in a world built on smell. When a female dog enters her reproductive stage, her body releases pheromones. To humans, that means almost nothing. But to male dogs, it can feel like a message spreading through the entire street. If dogs had phones, that morning, every male dog in the neighborhood would receive the same notification. Luna just came online. And from that moment, the competition begins. Every male dog is applying for the same job. So, what exactly are all these dogs trying to do? Think of it this way. They're all applying for the same job. The only problem is, there's only one interviewer. And her name is Luna. Rocky is the first to make his move. He throws his head back and lets out the longest, loudest howl he can. In Rocky's mind, he's giving the performance of a lifetime. The neighbors, however, might describe it as an unexpected 8 a.m. concert. Bruno has a completely different strategy. He walks proudly back and forth behind his gate, chest out, tail high, trying to look as big and powerful as possible. If dogs had gyms, Bruno would definitely have a lifetime membership. Charlie believes athletic ability is the answer. He tosses his favorite ball into the air, catches it perfectly, runs in circles, then proudly carries it around as if he's just won Olympic gold. Oliver? Oliver has no interest in sports. He's convinced appearance is everything. Every morning, he spends several extra minutes making sure his fur looks absolutely perfect. If a single leaf lands on his back, his whole morning is ruined. Every dog has a different strategy, but they're all sending the exact same message. Look at me. I'm healthy. I'm strong. I'm worth choosing. Humans post vacation photos, luxury cars, or gym selfies on social media. Dogs don't have Instagram, so they advertise themselves with their bodies, their confidence, and their behavior. At least, that's what they think they're doing. Because Luna still hasn't been impressed. What is Luna actually looking for? Here's the funny part. While every male dog is busy trying to stand out, Luna barely looks at any of them. Rocky finishes his concert. She keeps walking. Bruno flexes every muscle he has. She keeps walking. Charlie performs his greatest trick. She keeps walking. Oliver shakes his beautiful fur. She keeps walking. If this were humans, the guys would probably say she's impossible. But dogs don't choose the same way we do. To Luna, the most important information isn't something she sees, it's something she smells. Imagine walking into a kitchen. Before you see anything, you already know someone is baking bread or making coffee. Dogs experience the world like that. Every second of every day. A single sniff can tell Luna how healthy a male dog is, how old he is, whether he's stressed, confident, or even sick. In other words, while Rocky is singing, Bruno is flexing. Charlie is showing off, and Oliver is posing. Luna is quietly reading all of their resumes. without anyone saying a single word. If a tree is Facebook for dogs, then Scent is their entire profile page, and Luna has already finished reading it before any of the boys even realize the interview has started. Do male dogs actually fight? By now you might be wondering, if every male dog wants Luna, why don't they just fight? After all, that's what many other animals do. Male deer crash their antlers together. Lions fight to take over an entire pride. Elephant seals battle for hours on the beach. Even hippos can leave each other covered in deep bite wounds. So, do dogs do the same thing? Sometimes, but not nearly as often as people imagine. Here's why. For a wild animal, a serious injury can be disastrous. A broken leg, a torn shoulder, or even a deep bite could mean no more hunting, no more running, and no chance of reproducing. That's why most dogs would rather avoid a real fight. Instead, they start with something much safer. Rocky stands taller. Bruno stiffens his body. Charlie circles around without taking his eyes off the others. Even Max quietly lifts his head, watching everything without making a sound. They're not fighting yet. They're negotiating. Think of it like two heavyweight boxers, staring each other down before the first punch. Or two poker players, trying to convince the other guy to fold. Dogs do the same thing. Their posture says, I'm stronger than you. Their tail says, I'm confident. Their eyes say, this isn't a fight you want. And surprisingly, very often, that's enough. One dog simply looks away, walks off, and the contest ends without a single bite. Because in the world of dogs, winning without fighting is often the smartest victory. So, who does Luna choose? After watching all of this, you'd probably expect Luna to choose the loudest dog, or maybe the biggest one, or perhaps the most handsome. But that's where humans usually get it wrong. Luna isn't looking for the best performance. She's looking for the best partner. That means something completely different. A healthy body, good genes, balanced hormones, confidence, without unnecessary aggression. A dog that can stay calm under pressure, not one that panics every time another male appears. Ironically, the dog trying the hardest isn't always the most attractive. Sometimes, trying too hard sends the opposite message. Imagine going on a first date, and someone spends the entire evening talking about how amazing they are. Most people wouldn't be impressed. Dogs aren't that different. Confidence is attractive. Desperation isn't. And perhaps that's the biggest surprise of all. The real competition was never about who barked the loudest or who looked the strongest. It was about which dog's body quietly said, I'm healthy, I'm confident, and I don't need to prove it. So the next time you see a neighborhood full of male dogs suddenly acting very strange, you might think they're simply showing off. And, well, you're not entirely wrong. But underneath all the barking, the posing, the howling, and the dramatic performances, there's an ancient biological conversation taking place. One that's been shaping dog behavior for thousands of years. The funny part is, the male dogs probably believe they're competing in the biggest talent show of their lives. Meanwhile, Luna may simply be enjoying her morning walk because while the boys are busy trying to become the main character, she's quietly deciding whether today she wants to choose anyone at all. And maybe that's the biggest lesson about dog love. Sometimes, the loudest voice gets all the attention, but nature has always been listening to something much quieter. Now I'm curious about your neighborhood. If there were a Luna on your street, which dog do you think would win? The singer? The athlete? The bodybuilder? The handsome, quiet guy, like Max? Or do you think Luna would choose someone completely different? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to read your answers. And if you enjoy discovering the hidden psychology behind dog behavior, don't forget to subscribe to Dog Mind Decoded, because sometimes understanding dogs helps us understand ourselves a little better.